June 25th, 2026, Philadelphia. The eyes are on Nicolas Pepe.
Oh, the ricochet's gone his way, and it's in! Pepe pounces! Côte d'Ivoire have the start they wanted.
He scores twice, secures Ivory Coast's spot in the knockout stage, and every headline the next morning carries his name. But buried in the stats sheet is a number nobody talks about. In the 7th minute, the pass that set up Pepe's opener came from a teenager wearing the number 11. He is 19 years old. He just became the youngest player in Ivory Coast's history to be directly involved in a World Cup goal, and by the time the tournament ends, he will be the only player since the year 2000 to hit double figures in both dribbles and chances created through his first 3 World Cup matches. His name is Yan Diomande, and José Mourinho already knew who he was. By late July, the story around Real Madrid's transfer business had a familiar shape. Reports named Michael Olise. Sources close to Bayern Munich fielded questions about a move to the Bernabeu. The noise was everywhere. Almost too everywhere. Behind that noise, Mourinho was doing something else entirely. Reports out of Madrid describe a specific conversation with the board. He didn't ask for a marquee name to put on the front page. He asked for speed, fresh legs up front, a specific gap, and nothing vaguer. According to people close to the deal, Mourinho picked up the phone and called Diomande directly.
No, I want these players.
Right.
I want these players. I want the best players. Now I have to find a way to have a team.
Not through an agent, not through a scout. Mourinho himself laying out exactly how the teenager would fit. The message to Diomande was specific. He'd be playing alongside Vinicius Jr., not replacing him. A front three, Vinicius, Mbappe, Diomande. This is the part that should stop you. Mourinho had been out of La Liga for 13 years before Real brought him back this summer. He walked into the building in July. Within weeks, he had already identified, approved, and personally recruited a player almost nobody outside Leipzig's scouting department was talking about 18 months earlier. That is not luck. That is a manager who had already done the work before he had the keys.
Player is the complete package. Has to be technically good, has to be physically good, has to be mentally good, has to be a team player too.
Remember, this is not Mourinho's first time reading this club. He won a title here between 2010 and 2013, back when Real Madrid last handed him the keys. He knows what wins in Spain and what gets exposed in the Champions League. So when he tells Florentino Perez the squad needs more speed, that is not a throwaway line from a new coach still finding his feet. That is a diagnosis from someone who has already watched this exact team fail for exactly this reason before. To understand why Mourinho moved this fast, you have to understand what Diomande actually is. 2 years ago, he was playing high school soccer in Daytona Beach, Florida at DME Academy. 2 years, that's the entire runway. From there to Leganes, starting in the reserves, good enough to force his way into the first team by early 2025. Then Leipzig came calling that summer and everything accelerated. His first season in the Bundesliga produced 12 goals.
Pretty here. Still going, Diomande! What a special player he is!
And 8 assists in 33 appearances, numbers that helped push Leipzig back into Champions League contention. Along the way, he scored a hat-trick against Eintracht Frankfurt.
Monday, and how about this?
Becoming the second youngest player in Bundesliga history to do it, behind only a record set back in 1965. Then came the World Cup, and the record book started rewriting itself around him. Against Ecuador in the opener, a tight 1-0 win settled by a stoppage-time goal from someone else, Diomande was still the most dangerous attacking option on the pitch, producing more touches, more chances created, more duels won, and more progressive carries than anyone else on the pitch, against an Ecuador side that had conceded just 5 goals in 18 qualifying matches. Then against Curaçao, he delivered the assist that made him the youngest Ivorian ever directly involved in a World Cup goal. Strip away the highlight reel, and what's left is the trait Mourinho actually cares about. He is fast, and he finishes plays. It isn't dribbling for the highlight reel, it's dribbling that ends in a final ball. Speed with end product, the exact combination Mourinho put in front of the men running the club. Here's why that matters for a club like Real Madrid specifically. Madrid do not play one competition a season. They play 3, sometimes 4, La Liga, the Champions League, the Copa del Rey, and whatever else the calendar demands. That schedule chews through players. Vinicius Jr. and Mbappe cannot start every one of those 60-plus fixtures at full intensity and come out the other side healthy in May. Mourinho's plan solves that math.
one of the coach's quality is also to bring players in your direction, you know.
Diomande does not arrive to sit behind Vinicius and wait his turn. He arrives as a starting right winger in his own right, someone who can also cover the left when Vinicius needs a rest, or when the fixture list turns brutal in March. That is not a bench player, that is a manager building a front three that can rotate without losing a single degree of quality. This is the same logic Mourinho has used his whole career. He doesn't collect talent for the sake of collecting it. He solves specific problems. This one has a date attached. The Champions League quarter-final against Arsenal, when Mbappe twisted his ankle and was carried off in the 75th minute with Real down 2-1 and nothing on the bench to change the picture. Madrid went out 5-1 on aggregate, their earliest Champions League exit since 2020. That is what happens when an entire attack rests on two pairs of legs. Diomande answers a question Mourinho had already put to his own board before the deal was anywhere close to done. The path to Madrid was not simple. Liverpool moved first. Early in the summer, they offered Leipzig around $115 million for the winger. Leipzig said no. Before Liverpool could return with more, Diomande made his own preference known. He wanted Paris Saint-Germain, the reigning European champions, if he was going to move at all. For weeks, PSG looked like the favourite. Then Real Madrid stepped into the room. The Athletic broke the news in late July that Madrid were in direct club-to-club talks with Leipzig. What made the move so effective was the misdirection running alongside it. While Madrid's interest in Diomande stayed quiet, the press filled up with stories about Michael Olise, Bayern's forward, as a supposed Real Madrid target. That noise was not an accident. It was cover, letting Madrid negotiate for Diomande without the rest of the market driving the price higher. An opening bid of around €100 million was rejected. Then came a larger offer. Reports placed the final package somewhere between €115 and €135 million depending on add-ons, a fee that would make Diomande one of the most expensive teenagers in football history. PSG, who thought they had an agreement in place, withdrew from the race entirely once Madrid's move became clear. By the final week of July, Diomande was flying to Madrid for a medical and a signature on a contract running until 2031. None of this was improvised. Mourinho did not wake up one July morning and stumble onto a 19-year-old winger everyone else had missed. By all accounts, he told his board exactly what he needed before he needed it, and picked up the phone himself instead of waiting for an agent to make the call. And he built a front three around a player who was playing high school soccer in Florida 2 years ago. Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe, Yan Diomande. 3 names that should worry the rest of La Liga next season, and a manager who saw the whole picture before most people had even learned how to pronounce Diomande's name. He already knew, he just waited for the rest of us to catch up.